Anyway, before we get into it more, a data broker app is on the cards. Deep within the corporate offices of a data broker, something is happening behind closed doors.
How did we get your number? We'll let you sweat that out. Selling your private info? That's what we're all about. With morals of a cockroach, vileness beyond reproach, you cannot escape us with data broken bros.
When you browse the internet, when you click on accept a cookie, when you sign up for some or other service in a shop, your data gets sold to data brokers, and data brokers then sell it to other people. But there is a way to get your name and personal information removed off of these lists, and that is Incogni. You see, they do the fancy footwork and all the hard work for you. There are thousands of data brokers out there, and for you to go after each one and legally request for your name to be removed would be incredibly time-consuming and costly. But Incogni does it for you. You give them permission, and then they will, on your behalf, send legal letters to all of these different data brokers to get your personal data removed. If you're tired of junk mail and you want to get rid of all these targeted adverts and take your privacy back, go to incogni.com/Winston and use the code Winston to get 60% off. Protect your privacy today. Go to incogni.com/Winston and use the code Winston to take your personal data off the market. And now back to the show. You know, I was often targeted by thieves being a foreigner in China. In fact, I've had many things at least attempted to be stolen. Some things were actually stolen. And I was amazed at how quickly things get stolen in China. Quick example, I bought myself a bicycle and I bought my girlfriend a brand new bicycle. We rolled up to go and have lunch at a restaurant, parked it on the sidewalk, we actually double chained them with these chains with padlocks to the fence. There's like a railing next to the road. We sat down, we started to eat our meal, we ordered our meal, I looked outside, they were gone. Must have been a couple of seconds, seriously. And that was very disappointing since I just bought the bikes that same day. I mean, any foreigner who's actually lived in China or anyone from China can attest that, you know, especially bicycle thieves, especially around New Year's time, yeah, you know what, they really know what they're doing. They're very quick and steal everything. I had several pickpocket attempts on me. I managed to catch most of them, but one of them was successful. They stole a pretty expensive electronic dictionary that I had. You know, I was studying Chinese, so it was very useful to me. I was actually really bummed that it got stolen, especially since whoever stole it's not going to use it. Anyway, I stopped, personally, a number of pickpockets walking in the streets, where I'd see a woman walking towards me, guy with long surgical tweezers in her pocket pulling out her phone. That's the first time I screamed and shouted towards the scene, and the guy just slipped off into the crowd and disappeared, and she thanked me. This had happened a couple of times. Anyway, I would like to say that theft, the problem of theft improved in China during the 14 years I lived there, but unfortunately it didn't. Even with the massive amount of CCTV cameras that we have around the city, every single time something was stolen, if you tried to get the footage pulled up, well, there were always excuses. Either the cameras were magically broken at the time. This usually is code for, hey, don't bother me, I don't want to have to deal with this. And even if the footage did work, it was always grainy and difficult to identify the person. And listen, I know lots of people who've had stuff stolen. Pretty much every single one of my foreign friends that lived in China had things stolen, and my Chinese friends. So go ahead, ask a Chinese person if they think it's safe to leave something lying on the street in China. They will tell you absolutely not. Ask them if it's safe to leave something on your e-bike on the side of the road. They'll say absolutely no. Ask them if it's safe to leave the keys in your e-bike. They will say absolutely no. China is not the kind of place where you want to mess around with trust. It's a very low trust society. Scams are everywhere. Everybody's afraid of scams. Kidnapping is a huge problem. Everybody's afraid that their child's going to be kidnapped. I'm not making this up. This is a real thing. Chinese people know. And so when you see these ignorant foreigners that are being used to do propaganda to try and pretend China's safe, it kind of boils my blood, because you know what? It's demonstrably false. I do, however, always find it very interesting when the Chinese government decides to focus on a specific topic. And remember, the way it works is there's a topic for the outside world and there's a topic for within China. Because the Chinese government's not trying to tell Chinese citizens that everything's safe and you can leave stuff on your bike and it won't get stolen. No. In fact, it's the opposite. The Chinese government and the Chinese police bulletins are warning people right now in China, do not leave your goods unattended. Be careful of thieves. Be careful of pickpockets. I mean, here it is. Here's bulletins directly from the Chinese government. I mean, that's the thing. These foreign propagandists that are trying to put out this absolute nonsense that it's safe and you can leave stuff around and you don't need to worry about anything being stolen, they are going directly against the Chinese government and the bulletins that the Chinese police are putting out. So who are you supposed to believe? The Chinese Communist Party, who's telling their own people, hey, be careful of thieves because they're going to steal your shit? Or some lame foreigner that's fresh off the boat running around doing some sort of propaganda saying, oh look, I can leave stuff, or look, there's a bag over there, or somebody left their keys in. That means everything's safe in China. Who are you going to believe?
Things that only happen in China.
王爷，这个不能吧？这个是人家盲人走的路，一般的这个要罚罚的，晓得不？真的不能吧？这呆着两张了。
Okay, I know I said if it's not nailed down, it'll get stolen in China. But apparently, if it's nailed down, it'll still get stolen in China. This auntie is stealing the little plates that help blind people walk.